Chris van Lennep. I'm a professional surfing photographer and I enjoy what I do. My years at the Bay of Plenty, surfing with my brother and getting pictures of my brother, and that's how I started running along the rock piers with a Kodak Instamatic and photographing my brother and the other guys that were surfing in the bowl in the early 80s. That's how I started. I was a fitter machinist. Coming into doing surf photography, I decided to build my own water housings, and then I started shooting with a standard Nikon camera, and then after I saw, I think, Aaron Chang and Don King photographs in surfing in California in the magazine, and then I decided, I'd like to have a go at that fisheye lens that they were using. So I saved a year's salary, and then in 1985 Paul Noddy went to California because of his job and purchased me a fisheye lens, which was quite expensive in those days, and that's how it started. Surfing magazine was the first magazine that I got into a relationship with another man called Larry Moore. He was the photo editor. And then Surfing Life Japan with Mr. Yasuhisa Fujiwara was the editor at the time. And then from there it went to Australia, Brazil, France, Spain, Portugal, England, and where else? All the countries that have ocean. Quality wasn't there in the digital realm in 2005, 2006. But then in 2009, I saw the new Canon 5D Mark II come onto the market at the beginning of 2009, and I was amazed at the quality of this digital camera, and it didn't have any magnification, so I could still go back to my original fisheye lens and fit it onto the camera, and it produced the same results. And there's very little difference between the quality of the slide film and the digital with a full-size chip camera, and that's how I got so excited about that. And 9 months learning digital from the start of using an Apple Mac laptop to do all my editing, and then to use Lightroom. I use Lightroom as my software to edit all my images, and it's a challenge. It's like being back at school again, but I love it. And creating good images is always I love doing that. That's what I always, and it was just the love of this doing photography that got me to doing it full time. In any sport like surfing, or if you were scuba diving or skydiving, if you're a photographer in those categories, you have to be in the zone to get the shot. That's the best way I can describe it. And surfing is exactly the same. You've got to be able to be a good swimmer and read the wave. You've got to read the wave, and you've got to also read the surfer to understand what the surfer is trying to do as well, to make the wave, and to whether it's to come off the bottom of the wave or to do a turn on the top of the wave or to tube ride. You've got to anticipate, and you've got to put yourself in a position where you won't get run over as well. I used to enjoy shooting backdoor and off the wall a lot. Anything from 6 to 10 foot waves there, and there were a couple of good riders there. I don't want to name one rider in particular, but I think the best surfer I've ever seen at backdoor is Kelly Slater, as far as his ability to surf the wave, and I think he's always been the best rider in that era, and I'm amazed at his tenacity and his concentration level, and he knows exactly what the wave's doing, and he knows where the photographers are, so he's always accommodating in that respect. So, and a lot of the top end surfers know what you're trying to achieve, and so if they've got an idea what you're trying to achieve, they work with you, and it's quite satisfying to create an image, and they're happy and you're happy as well. It must create a story. I think every image that you shoot You've got to create a story, and if the people love the story, they'll come back to you for your images or your services.